Welcome to another Indie Dev Showcase, highlighting the many indie games we play here on the channel. If you'd like to submit a game for a future video, please reach out. But otherwise, let's begin. We are starting things off with Rotoforce. This is a twin-stick 360-degree shooter. You've been hired by a company to go out and fight bad guys, and you're going to do just that, running all around the arena, trying to pew-pew your way to victory. This is not a roguelike or roguelite, as you'll play through a different variety of stages, complete with different kinds of enemies you'll have to deal with, as well as different environmental hazards that can pop up for you to avoid. At the end of each stage is a boss fight that turns this twin-stick shooter into a little bit of rotating bullet hell along the way. I like the kind of aesthetic of this one, although the different palette colors can be a little bit hard on the eyes, and you'll have to deal with different ones for each one of these stages. Now, the game is a bit on the challenging side. Again, you're not only having to deal with the enemies and dodging their patterns, but also kind of staying one step ahead of where you're running and kind of the rotation of the levels as well. Still, this I think is a very solid one for action fans. There are different difficulty settings and accessibility options as well. So this one comes with a recommendation if you like the whole kind of 360-degree movement shooter style of gameplay. And now we go to the Future Project. You play an AI who is being trained to get sent into space, and to do so, we're going to explore a variety of different worlds and pew-pew and jump our way to victory. The simplest way to describe this one would be essentially an indie take on the Metroid Prime formula, as you must run, jump, and shoot your way across levels to find upgrades which you can then use to get further and unlock additional areas. Now, this one definitely has a lot of heart to it, but I did run into a few issues. The jumping kind of felt very awkward to do. This is one of those games where it's very easy to kind of like bounce off the edge of a platform, and your jump, at least at the start, is very low. So there are plenty of times where I was almost like right on the edge of jumping and I still miss kind of the next ledge to get to. Now, we played this one for a few minutes, and this one unfortunately again kind of shows limitations of what you can do like in the indie space, going like full on Metroid Prime style. But I still kind of enjoyed what I saw here. This one is definitely going to be for someone who really wants kind of like the Metroid Prime feel but on PC. And maybe at some point we'll go back to this one and see kind of where it has developed. So this one is, I think, going to be for the fans only, but if you get into it, I think you're going to find something that's going to be very enjoyable in terms of what you're going to get out of the Metroidvania, well, I should say FPS Metroidvania design. We now switch over to Knights of the Cross. So this is a very interesting one. This is a deck builder based off a Nobel Prize winning story whose full title I cannot pronounce, that is based off a battle in Polish-Lithuania in the 15th century, and this is all wrapped up in basically through all the anime filter on top of it. Yeah, this one's definitely a very interesting one. So, our gameplay here is that you'll build your team out of a collection of characters. You'll be able to acquire new ones after kind of each major chapter, and characters come in different rarities. Yeah, there's kind of like a rarity system and kind of like an in-universe, I believe, gacha for it. There's no microtransactions at all in it. Each character will have a different access to cards, and you can also upgrade characters as well. You'll need to field a big team, as characters can only be healed at specific like rest stops. So you'll need to conserve them or conserve your best characters when you need them, or kind of mix your party up whenever you see fit. You'll be able to take on different challenges, with of course the harder the challenge, the more you'll be able to get out of it, and then you'll be kind of forced to again adapt to who you get, what roles they have access to, etc., etc. The game features a kind of a combo system, where by playing cards of specific colors, you can trigger special abilities of each character. So this lends into the team building, as you want to have a team of like-minded characters so you can trigger their card or their combo procs a lot easier rather than just throwing all kinds of characters together. So this one starts out a little bit on the easier side. If you've played any kind of deck builder, you should have seen this all coming. But there is certainly a lot to this one. On top of kind of being built on this famous story, there is going to be a lot in terms of deck building and character building to go with it. And this one I think definitely took me by surprise in terms of what's here. If you're not tired of a deck building style RPG and don't mind a whole lot of anime in terms of both fan service and flashy lights and explosions, this is a very easy recommendation and a solid kind of deck builder to boot. We now go to Zapling Bygone. This is a Metroidvania where you play a strange creature that's come to an alien world in order to investigate and find something that can help save its own world. Now our creature here gains the power of the creatures it kills by, well, wearing their skulls in its kind of tentacle form, which I guess makes this a more macabre version of Kid Chameleon. Our structure is so you'll explore each biome looking for upgrades and new powers to take on, which will enable you to get further in. You'll be able to fight different enemies, and the game is definitely on the more challenging side, as you'll come to situations where you'll need to avoid more enemies and try and fight them, as well as the kind of level design, obstacle design evolving as you go forward. You can of course revisit areas looking for more goodies. There's kind of the whole story told through comic book paneling, which you can collect those comic book panels as you explore the world as well. Now if you're hoping for kind of like the full Hollow Knight kind of treatment in terms of level and combat design, Zapling doesn't quite do that. It's definitely on the shorter end of the scale compared to Hollow Knight, some of the other Metroidvanias we played, but the kind of like horror themes and setting definitely help it stand apart from the other games. There's going to be quite a bit of things to explore. We got, I think, a good chunk of our way through. I don't think we got close to the end, however. But this one, I think, is on the solid side. If you're looking for another Metroidvania to tide you over while you wait for some other game to come out, and looking for one that's a little bit more horror-themed as well, then this one definitely deserves a check. We now go to Vividlope? One of those two. This is a kind of, I guess, like Q*bert meets arcade platformer style game. You play as some adorable characters who have once again fallen to the ever popular plot of video game characters getting sucked inside a video game. And in order to get out, they must go through multiple levels, running across all the tiles to clear them, and then move on to the next stage. The entire game is played arcade style as you'll move from level to level, world to world. You are graded in each level not only based on getting on all the tiles, but keeping your kind of combo meter alive. And the combo meter stays alive as you run on new tiles. You cannot walk on a tile you've already been on without kind of costing you your multiplier and your combo line. So if you want the best score of this game, you need to do things perfectly and hit every one of those tiles along the way. This is a game that definitely embodies the easy to play, very, very difficult to master. If you're going for full V rank, not S rank, V rank, it is going to take you a lot of skill. There are tons of levels to go through. There is a level editor as well. This is another example of a game that, once again, you've played one level. If you enjoy it, there are plenty more to go through. If you're hoping for progression in terms of new mechanics and systems, that is not what this game is about. Another one that I would definitely recommend if you have any interest from hearing the description or watching this footage to give it a go, because if you enjoy this one, you're going to have a whole lot of levels to walk and I guess paint your way through. For our last game of this week's showcase, we go to Crop Rotation. This is another in the kind of slot machine roulette style of Luck Be a Landlord. But instead of using a slot machine to help pay our taxes, we are going to use automated farming. The basic rules and game elements here are very similar. After each kind of cycle or day running, you'll decide which fruit or vegetable or other crop you can plant from a selection of 3. Every crop has various tags related to it, and you'll gain synergy bonuses by matching or getting enough of a specific tag in your rotation. Well, no pun intended with the name here. When you start a day, the crops will be grown random based on the number of plots you have available. And this becomes an important gameplay consideration as there's also adjacency bonuses, much like Luck Be a Landlord. And the more spaces you have, the harder it's going to be to try and land those specific combos. Get them right, of course, and you'll earn lots and lots of money, and try to keep ahead of your ever-increasing taxes. Now, the game does feature some seasonal play as well. As the run goes on, you'll have to adapt to how these seasons will affect the water, as water is another consideration that will determine which crops can grow. And you'll need to balance having different sprinklers and other kind of machinery set up, or aka kind of like your artifacts or passive boosts, to go with everything else. I found this one to be a little bit easier to play compared to Luck Be a Landlord, as you have the additional elements of the kind of rewards for the specific types, as well as the artifacts kind of help out a lot more to give you a greater boost. I enjoyed this one as a fan of Luck Be a Landlord, Balatro, and other kinds of, again, like this kind of more like random or RNG focus for a roguelike. If you're hoping for a complete reinvention or redesign of that concept, you're not going to find that with crop rotation, but if you enjoy this specific style of a roguelike or auto game, however you want to define it, then this one comes with a very easy recommendation from me. So with that, we're going to wrap up this week's showcase. All the games shown were played, I believe, with press keys provided by developers. So let me play your game for a future stream and showcase. Please reach out. Let me know what you think about these games in the comments down below. And have a great rest of your night, and see everyone in the next video. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and if you're interested in more of my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.